You can support this show at patreon.com/ASA podcasting.
The wasteland is a post-apocalyptic mess as the sole survivor wanders out about to leave the rest. Nuclear explosions sending out this gamma rays from deep within the core, frozen atomic waste. Deep within the core, frozen atomic waste.
Welcome to the 101st episode of the Fallout Feed. Take 2. We had some technical difficulties, everybody. Welcome to the show. We got Ray and Sarah with us. Hi, Ray and Sarah. What's going on?
Andrew.
All right, we had echo. Sometimes my podcast rig, for some reason, gets a poltergeist in it, and we get an echo issue. But I had to reset my router, and I restarted the computer, and everything's better now. Now, Ray, here's the question. Sarah, do we go back? Because it'll be saved on the YouTube. The people on the YouTube got the special treat of that first that first little nugget that we recorded. Do I go back and pull that and put that on the podcast, or do we let the YouTube folks have their own weird little episode, or should I delete that? Put it on the podcast only.
Is it just up like for posterity forever?
Well, I can delete it.
Oh.
But it whatever we record here in the Google Hangout gets dumped into YouTube automatically as a YouTube video. Even though, and we get a fair number of views on these, which I'm kind of surprised about because there's no video aspect to it. This is just an audio podcast. We are super lazy. There's like people who, if you'd ever watched the old Fallout Off the Record, or, they have like cool graphics going on and like, cameras on the people and everything. They were like a TV show, I'm just surprised lots of people listen on the YouTube, which is awesome.
It's our sparkling. People don't need to see our faces.
I'm kind of glad they don't have to at 10 o'clock at night after I've been up since 5 in the morning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ray's been up since 3.
Ray's the man. It's going to get crazy in here tonight if we keep up Ray
long
long enough.
You're going to be punch drunk and slap happy.
I love it.
Ray had a hole-in-one at the golf game, guys. For the kid.
Oh my gosh.
It's for the kids.
It's for the kids.
Oh. Ray, I know you only watch detective TV shows, but you're almost saying one of my favorite lines from a Coen Brothers movie. For kids. The Hudsucker Proxy. Anybody, if you guys know the Hudsucker Proxy, that Tim Robbins movie? Oh, so good. So good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Fallout. We need to talk about some video game or something, I think.
We were deep into getting Sarah into Far Harbor.
Yeah.
Right. So, Sarah, you have a character that was your first character you've ever played. Do you only have 2 characters?
Yes.
This roundtable character was your second Fallout character?
Why are you saying it in such a judgy tone?
I'm not trying to be judgy. I'm just surprised.
Yeah.
If you ask Ray, how many? I mean, in juxtaposition, Ray, how
67.
many? You have 67 characters.
You have not. Are you serious?
Oh yeah.
That is ridiculous. Amazing, but ridiculous. Yeah. Okay,
and
fine.
every time Andrew and Kara would be talking on the podcast, they'd come up with some idea,
Some stupid far out there idea,
and it's like, hey, I can do that. And so I'd create a character.
So how high up do these characters get level wise with you?
all of them are under 10, probably, right? You probably only your roundtable characters are over 10, right?
Yeah, no, there's a few of them that have gotten into the low 30s.
Oh, okay.
But only one of them has ever gotten over 60. So
nice.
Okay. I tend to be pretty I don't know. I get attached, I guess. I was like that with Skyrim too. I only ever had one character. I just played on that character for like ever.
Yeah, me too. I've only got about 30 characters in Skyrim.
Wow, only 30.
Yeah.
Bummer.
That's a ton. Did you get your character to level 81 in Skyrim, Sarah?
I didn't. I am I'm not the most organized player. I just kind of run around. Honestly, you guys have made me a much more organized player just from one round table round. I'm way more organized than I ever have been, but
Well, it's because you have an assignment.
yeah, that's totally true. And so I would just wander around. Like I spent hours one day just like killing mammoths, just because it sounded fun. And then I started killing giants.
That's great. I've
Close though.
I've got Skyrim on my Switch. I've been doing a little playthrough with the ritual stone, so I'm just going to all the giant I'm doing a big loop of all the giant camps where I just collect all the mammoths and giants and
Yes.
have them fight the next camp of giants and mammoths, and then I collect the mammoths there and go to the next camp. It's pretty fun.
That sounds actually incredibly fun, but does it not bug out when you have that many followers on the Switch? Does it matter?
The Switch, no, not yet. On my PlayStation 3, I've mentioned before that it would almost melt down. It would almost freeze most of the time. It did freeze a lot of the time. If I had over, 15 or 16.
Yeah, I remember you saying
At one time, I gathered like 50 people in Riften at the beheading scene. I killed everyone at the beheading scene, and then all the guards, and like dragged everyone in a big pile.
How did you kill everyone at the beheading scene? You just went and just started murdering everybody?
Started murdering people. And I just, I did a hard save and then, of course, went back after. I just wanted to see how many people I could get all together. And that Riften scene is one of the most the populous scenes that I could remember, at least. So I went there and killed everyone and used the ritual stone to revive everyone. And it, locked up my PlayStation 3. The Xbox has no problem with it. The Xbox and, the special edition is smooth as butter. The Switch, as far as I can tell, will handle it as well. I haven't gotten anywhere close to 50, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like you have an assignment now.
Yeah, don't challenge me. I'll make a show of it.
Yeah, I want to see. Put on Facebook group. I won't see it, but you can post it in our chat.
Yeah, you're not on Facebook anymore. You disappeared. Yeah, so long. I don't know. Anyway, we're talking about our characters. So seriously, do I go back and clip the audio from our first thing and put it in, or?
I think maybe, yeah. I mean, that way the people on YouTube aren't re-listening.
Yeah, so I don't have to say all that stuff about explaining what the round table is again.
Yeah.
So if you guys are interested in participating in the upcoming season of the round table, please send us an email. Just give us your name. Let us know if you're a new listener and your Fallout experiences in the past and all that. We like hearing from our listeners so we can gather up sort of how many people will be playing along with us.
Please play with us. It's so fun.
If you do play along, we ask you to please send us in some audio feedback. The voice recorder app on your phone is perfectly fine. Just talk into that and tell us all about your character, and we'd love to hear from you. We prefer MP3, so I don't have to go in and convert everything. But if that's you've got the iPhone, they always send like the MP4s or the M4A or whatever that is, and I'll go in and convert those. It's not a big deal. But if you have the option to send different files, send MP3s. So we can deal with those easily. But yeah, so that's the gist of the project. We're getting into season 6 here pretty soon. July 12th, we're rolling new characters, and then 2 weeks after that, we'll complete the first round of quests. And Ray, have you taken a look at all those quests?
Yeah, I started.
Got some notes I saw.
I had some notes thrown in there.
Yeah, so we'll take a gander at that later here in the show, and maybe start piecing some stuff together. We'll finalize everything by next week so that we can be ready to go and roll characters on July 12th. All right. So I guess we should do some feedback for tonight then, right? We have some audio from Josh and Steve, an email from Dylan and Marcus. Sarah, do you got some email pulled up? can
Totally.
get into that a little bit. But first, go ahead and check in. Josh here. Gosh, if I can get into the right folder. I'm not even clicking the right thing here. Oh, it's not responding. Our feedback is one of the best things about the show, and the show really formed about the community because Michael started doing the Skyrim Addict podcast, and then we did the Skyrim Roundtable. Then when Fallout 4 came out, we decided to do a Fallout show and then the Fallout Roundtable and everything. But the Roundtable aspect was basically the community, everyone wanting to hop in and participate in some fashion to do a podcast. So the feedback that we get from you guys is very, very important to the show, and if I say so myself, the most important aspect. Us just discussing what we're doing and our characters is just so that we can bounce ideas off of you guys to tell us how we're playing incorrectly. So your feedback is very important. And this season, I'd like to thank the following people for sending in audio feedback. Colin, Jeremy or Jerem, Lee, Leon, Pat, Sean, and Sean. We have 3 different Seans. Steve, Craig, Josh, Freighter, Ethan, Todd, Laura, and Shalene. Also our great emailers all season long, Wendy first and foremost, and Chris. Also Dylan and Justin. Thanks guys for emailing in the show for season 5 of the Roundtable. Your feedback and community participation is what makes the show flow. So we will go ahead and roll in with our audio feedback from Josh.
Hi, this is Josh from Idaho. I'm recording Dexter's final feedback for the bobblehead roundtable. Let's see. I ended up at the end of the last session. I watched Ray's level 1 Twitch stream of getting the agility bobblehead and noticed that he picked up a vendor magazine that I had missed when I went to the FMS wreckage. So I went back there, got that vendor magazine, went over to Poseidon Energy from there. I took out Cuddy and his gang with a couple plasma grenades and then a shotgun. Got a Tesla magazine that gives plus 5% critical damage on energy weapons, and then picked up the endurance bobblehead. After that, headed over to Dunwich Boars. I hit level 34 while I was in Dunwich Boars, so I took the Demolition Expert 2, and now I have the throwing arc for grenades and explosives. Also do 50% more damage, so I really like that. The arc really helps out a lot. Let's see, so I snuck through taking out the different groups, took out Bedlam, and then found an astoundingly awesome's magazine where take 5% less damage from robots over on the armor workbench by Bedlam. Let's see. Battled through ghouls and found the sneak bobblehead. Now I'm 10% harder to detect. I also, in Dunwich Boars, I found Crim's Tooth for the first time. I never located it, but I'd come across that like pond of water or whatever it is, but never went down in it. And it's actually kind of difficult to find. You have to go off on a side tunnel, but it's pretty difficult to see down there. So went ahead and did that. I hit level 35, and as I promised, I went ahead and took Vans level 1. I plan on taking level 2. Level 1 kind of sucks, but it was pretty difficult to figure out how to use it at first, and now that I do, I kind of just wish it lasted a little bit longer or I don't know, something. But yeah, I kind of feel like it was a wasted perk. But I went through the Nuka-Cola bottling plant over at Nuka World. That was really tough, especially that final battle with all the Mirelurks and the Queen Mirelurk, and I think there was like 2 Mirelurk Kings that I had to take out. So used a lot of stim packs and just kind of ran around for my life, and finally took them all down. Went ahead and claimed that section of the park for the disciples. I'm just planning on doing that with all sections of the park since I'm doing a disciples playthrough. Went ahead and started up Ceto's quest over at Safari Kingdom, and I think there's a glitch because when I'm supposed to be following Ceto, we go into the entryway of Safari Kingdom, and all of a sudden he's gone, and it's showing that he's far away on the map. I go and meet him, and then he goes back in, and then he jumps out to that same area. So I decided that I would move on to Dry Gulch and go back to Ceto's quest later. I'm recording this on the 17th of June, since I'm heading up to Seattle for that the kidney donation procedure on the 20th. So I figured I better get this in before I head up there, because I knew I wouldn't have any time to do this once I get up there. But thank you guys very much again for all your support in the community. And I really enjoyed being on the show the other week. Actually recording this before I've even listened to episode 100. Pretty excited to go ahead and listen to at least part of that on the plane today. But thank you all, and we'll see you in the wasteland.
Champion right here, this fella, Josh, donated a kidney to his niece.
You're amazing, Josh.
Everyone's doing well. We've seen in the Facebook group. So awesome, Josh. Such a man. Such a man. You're right. First level of van sucks, and I didn't know how to use it either at first. I was like,
yeah, I have never tried.
I was like, each time I hit the VATS button, it locks on to someone. So how can, and it wouldn't show the path if you're locked on to someone. The thing is, you're supposed to do it when enemies aren't around, and you have to hold down the VATS to, because I would like punch the VATS, and if it wouldn't lock onto anything, you know, if no one's around, it won't lock onto anything if you just like punch it.
Right.
But if you hold down the button, then it'll kick into VATS. You have to hold it down for like 3 or 4 seconds. Like, it's longer than you think it would be. And then it like punches into VATS, and then you see the mysterious glowing line that tells you where to go.
Well, do they tell you how to do this, or do you just have to figure it out?
It's a Bethesda game, so they just kind of let you figure it out most of the time. I mean, they give you a little bit of tutorials in the beginning of these games, you know what I mean? But they don't hold your hand most of the time.
They're just like, oh, they'll figure it out eventually.
Yeah, and they expect you to try to break it too, you know what I mean?
That actually is, it's true. I could see that.
Yeah. I don't know. Nuka World's tough as shit to get into. You're right. I'm looking forward to hearing Sarah's adventures through the gauntlet.
Now you've built it up so far that I'm like, I'm just not going to do it.
No, we've been harassing you really badly about that.
Yeah, she'll take her level, 100 character, or 300 character through there, and it'll be like, that was easy.
He's gonna load up on the quadruple barrel missile launchers with the auto aim and like the 600 damage.
I'm gonna load up before I go in there for sure. For sure.
Seriously, Josh, thank you for your participation all season long. You've been a valued member of our community, and I hope you will roll a new character and play with us in season 6. I don't know what sort of, what recovery's like for kidney. Are you bedridden for a week or two? Are you up and I know you're not in the hospital anymore, but you're probably not up and about. You know what I mean? Probably sitting in bed for a few days, right?
I'm sure that takes a while.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's not the same thing, but my wife had a C-section, and that was also a major sort of operation. She was down and out for a few weeks. You know what I mean?
A while, yeah.
But speedy recovery, Josh. Thanks again for your feedback, buddy.
Yep, good times.
We've got some from Steve, but we should probably hit up an email, don't you think? Do you have one from Dylan there, Sarah?
I do. Let me bring it up. All right, from Dylan. He says, "Hey all, I just started listening to your show and it's great. I hear you all talking about 76 and being cautious or skeptical, but I think this will be the truest version of the wasteland yet. You emerge and there is no civilization, so you must rely on what was left behind and trading with those you find. But like in a real wasteland scenario, you wouldn't know who is friend or foe. You wouldn't know what anyone's intentions were. You find notes and logs left by others, just as you would if you were to survive a nuclear holocaust. You will repurpose what was left behind to help everyone or help yourself. I don't think everyone will be dicks, but there will be a few. I think this will be really interesting to experience. I believe it will be frustrating at times, but that just comes with the territory. I was really pissed at first finding out that I couldn't play offline, but thinking about this as a true wasteland experience, I am excited. Anyway, keep up all of your good work. I look forward to the next podcast. See you in the wasteland. Dylan G."
He does bring up a few good points, and I think it's safe to say that is a nice assumption that it is sort of this is the wasteland as is we're coming into. So there's not going to be tons. This is right, very close after the bomb. So like the society doesn't sort of reform and form their own like cliques and factions and stuff. People are coming out, and we are the people who are starting all those relationships who will eventually become the different, Minutemen or Raiders or Gunners, or you know what I mean?
Totally. I think, yeah. I'm just excited for something that's completely different, completely new, and yeah. I'm on board with you, Dylan. Well said. And people will be dicks, and that's okay. That's why you have friends, right?
Yeah.
Go kick their ass.
And supposedly, we've said a few times, but supposedly they've got ways to keep people from killing you over and over unfairly. So I'm a gentle beast in the gaming world, and I am not good at like first-person shooter type things. So if I get abused, like that, that's one thing that'll make me quit pretty quickly. You know what I mean? But,
that's what we're here for. We'll back you up.
I'm gonna be the healer who sits in the back of the group and just throws, I'll throw stem pack at you guys while you go do the fighting.
And I'll run in. I'll be the tank. It's fine. And then Ray will be up in a tree somewhere. Sniping at people.
Oh, sniping. I thought you meant hiding.
Yeah, that's totally my style.
He'll find himself a nice freeway to hang out on. It'll be good times.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it is going to be fun because it'll be completely different.
Yeah.
It's 200 years, earlier. So,
are we going to have the same style of character creation with the special categories and the perks, and how's all that going to? The perks are going to be like cards or something, I heard, where you can have 3 active at any given time, so you can have different builds on your character depending on what objective you're trying to achieve, I guess, or something. I don't know. We'll have to see how it all works, but that sounds fairly interesting.
Yeah, there has to be a certain amount of it. Otherwise, everybody would be the same.
VATS is still around, which I'm always a big fan of. It's not going to slow time, but at least it'll be an auto-aim system, which I need desperately.
That's that thing you use with vans, right?
I don't know what a van is. All right. Yeah, 76. Thanks, Dylan. We're looking forward to it, and we're going to try to do a roundtable. We're not sure how the quest stuff is going to be structured. We're just kind of going to jump into it and start playing, I guess, and see. I don't know, Ray. I guess we'll sort of announce the next week's objectives on the previous show. You know what I mean? Like, sort of figure it out as we go.
Until we know more about the game, it's going to be hard to really plan anything. But we're good at it.
The beta, I think most of us did some sort of pre-order, so we'll get beta. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Will it ever be on? Will the beta even be on PS4? It has to be on PS4. You don't want to bug that one the most, I assume.
I don't know. I still haven't gotten my pre-order, so I'm thinking I'm gonna do PC.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because the concern is that you know, if they won't do cross-platform for Fortnite, they're certainly not going to do it for Fallout.
Yeah, PlayStation is just notorious for not playing nice, and so I don't want to take that risk.
Yeah,
Yep.
you want to be able to play with us, so PC or Xbox. would probably be
Yeah.
better.
I
Yeah.
can make it happen.
Good eye. Good eye. Good catch.
See, thinking ahead over here.
Mm-hmm. She's got it figured out already. Does your husband play Fallout?
He does. He actually, he's the one that made me start playing Fallout in, like from the get-go. He's played Fallout 3, New Vegas, and Fallout 4.
Wow.
Yeah. He's a modder too. He's really into modding. Like he spends, you know, I don't know, 3 weeks modding the game and then plays for 20 minutes and he's good to go. So
Yeah. He's a Victor and
yeah,
yeah.
he's one of those guys.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
If I had a PC, I'd probably tinker a lot more with mods too.
I mean, obviously you guys talk about it a lot, but I'm always amazed by what you can do with playing on a PC.
Yeah. And we just got our monthly gift from Bethesda with the latest update, which ends up breaking the script extender.
Okay, tell me what the script extender is first, and then what the update. How it breaks.
The script extender is a program that provides additional scripting for mods, you know, to use in creating their mods, and so it tacks on to, you know, to the regular game. It has some files that have to go into the main file where the you know, where all the exe files are and all that good stuff. And then it also has a separate set of scripts that it loads. And whenever they update the game, the Silverlock group has to go and make all their changes, update their mod, put out their update, so that you don't run into any issues. It will still run. It gives you a bunch of warnings, but you can push through them. But it's it's definitely a good idea. They come out with a update super quick. I mean, we just had the Tuesday, I think we got or what was it? No, it was just yesterday we got the update. And then this morning they already had the script extender update out. So
Wow.
How do these modders, what are they doing? How do they know what needs updated? Like what broke what? Do they have access code? They don't get any sort of heads up from Bethesda an update's about to come? So how do they so quickly realize what is broken? Like they just go into their code and they can see it break somehow, and then they just update that and fix it. I have no idea how it works.
Well, I mean, they know where the interactions are, so they do a quick comparison, and it shows them if anything in their realm is changed, and so then they make adjustments from there. A lot of times, it's just that they have to go in and just address the new version of the game. So. You know, there may not have been anything that changed in the actual scripting files.
Yeah.
But you know, they need to update their mod so that it has the most current game, because they have to do checks when their mod starts up to verify that you're running a compatible version of the game with the compatible version of the script extender. And so, you know, it could be as simple as just having to go in, change that number, and then reissue
Oh, okay.
the code. So
Interesting. It's still 10 miles over my head, but Ray, you've actually written a fun mod. The Fallout feed flag. Everyone search for it on the Xbox and PC. As also PlayStation. You can't do new?
no,
No, PlayStation.
no,
Lame.
can't do it.
All of you
Lame.
new subscribers out there, if you like to support the Fallout feed, please download Ray's mod. Again, Ray, what is it called? The Fallout feed flag.
I'm pretty sure. I haven't looked at it in a while.
Download that flag, take a screen cap, and upload it to Twitter or Facebook, and then point it out to us, guys. Super fun. Take lots of pictures, lots of people and uploading the flag. Good fun. All right, we got some more feedback to get into from Steve, so why don't we go ahead and check out Steve. What does he say? What?
Kyoto.
Kiora, right? Something like that. Kiora, Steve.
Kia ora, everybody.
Yeah, that's it.
And welcome to Fallout feedback for Sid, I guess the final one. So,
That's sad.
going over to Poseidon Energy and getting that one. I kind of figured out from I think there was a note on the door or something that said it was locked. Or no, I had a note from a raider that I found or something that told me to go around and find the tunnel that I went up. And so I got in there, and due to a mod I'm running, like something Safari, Wild Safari, it wasn't full of Mirelurks. It was full of like gulpers and anglers, and it's a pretty cool mod. I don't know if I'll run it again next time though, just because it creates a little bit of weirdness sometimes when those big hermit crab thingies pop up in tight locations and they don't have room to move around. So that was pretty good. I just used a lot of chems and my lead pipe and kind of slammed it out there. And then went over to Dunwich Boars. Same kind of deal. Chemmed it up and used my lead pipe and beat down the raiders and the ghouls and jumped down and got the bobblehead, but then jumped down and got the Krem's Tooth. Krem's Tooth is pretty cool. If I'd gotten a junky machete to put the Krem's Tooth on, because as I recall, you can take Krem's Tooth off as a weapon mod, and put it on to any other machete you find, even if it's another legendary machete. And that way you can like double the legendary. You can get a poison effect and whatever legendary you're running. So that would have been pretty cool. That leads me into talking about what I learned this bobblehead run. So the being an addict and running a weapon with a junky legendary, I think it really depends on the weapon and the perks that you're running. I had a lead pipe and it only has so much strength, and I wasn't running big leagues with it because it wasn't one of my chosen ones, and I didn't have enough spare perk points because I was busy taking a special point every other, because I wanted to keep up, because the being an addict was taking so many of my special points. So that's a little rough. I think now I'm finally high enough. I've taken all of my assigned perks, and I'm finally starting to take big leagues, and it's great, let me tell you. On this run, I ended up taking so far 760 chems and crafting 239 chems. my goal was to become like a jet dealer and make a lot of money that way, and that didn't really pan out for me. I found that it was just too time consuming and material consuming to make all those make all that jet and then go try and sell it for not as much as I was hoping. And it was just easier and cheaper, not cheaper, but super easier to just sell purified water. I had a couple of water pumps going at a couple of settlements, and I could just collect that up and then run around and sell it to all the different vendors around. No, I was making chem, so make what is it? I think grape mentats, and it gives you the plus 10% buying power or something, and then go to Diamond City and sell it to all those guys there, and also use it to trade for ammo if I needed ammo for like my junky plasma gun, because plasma bullets, no rounds, what are they? I don't know. Plasma cartridges are expensive, and so I could offset the price of those with the water. I also learned that it is difficult when you are streaming to keep up a constant chatter that's interesting, or might be interesting to a viewer. Streaming is kind of fun, and I enjoyed when like Freighter got on and was chatting with me while I was doing my bobblehead run over there in Vault 95 with Kate. And so I'm looking forward to when Vault 76 comes out, so that we can do a little playing together, whoever's around, if you're up when I'm playing, because down here in the southern hemisphere. Speaking of Vault 95, I still am I'm happy I achieved my goal. I set out to, with Kate, build up to a relationship with her, and then eventually take enough drugs that she leaves me. Well, that was more difficult than I thought. So with affinity, you get certain points every time you perform an action with your companion around. And according to the game rules, if you get your affinity up to 1,000 with that person, then you can try to romance them at that point. So, for instance, Kate stops gaining affinity at 999 affinity points until you do her quest over in Vault 95, and then you can get that affinity up from there. And so that after you perform that quest, that's when you can try to flirt and do the romance with her. So I had done that, but every time I took a chem, it only reduced the amount of affinity points by 15. So, and that has a cooldown period of 2 in-game days. So I would have to sleep 2 days, 48 hours, and then take a chem, and then sleep 48 hours, and then take a chem. I tried speeding that up by killing some innocent NPCs, and which gets you negative 100, I think. And so that made it go a little bit faster, but I kind of ran out of NPCs that I really wanted to kill off. So, and there's also a cooldown period on that too. So once you kill one, then there's the cooldown period. You have to wait 48 hours before you can try killing another NPC, or it might be 24 hours for killing an innocent person. So that was difficult. And you also just gain affinity if you are running around with the person. So I take a chem, run around with Kate, and my affinity would go back up over what it was that I had reduced by taking the chem. So I took her over to the drug den, which is over there just around. It's a unmarked location, even though it has a name, and it's over by Bunker Hill. And I thought that would be a good place. I used it to represent the Chelsea or Hotel Chelsea, where Sid and Nancy had checked in for their final days. And it just would take some Psycho, sleep for 2 days on the mattress that's in there, take some Psycho, sleep on the mattress for 2 days. It took quite a few hours, actually, but I really wanted to see what was going to happen. And I had her affinity down. And yes, she did eventually leave me. It took until I didn't realize it, negative 1,000 affinity points before she would have the conversation with me where she actually leaves me. She didn't go aggro on me, and she remained essential, so I couldn't kill her. But she did leave, and she won't interact with me when I talk with her now. She showed up over at Somerville Place, which is one of my Southern Coalition of settlements. I don't know why she'd go there, but she did. So maybe because that was the last place I had dismissed her to when I was playing with her before. I don't think I'll ever try getting an affinity down with a companion until they leave me again. But, you got to have goals. So, goal accomplished. I also have my Southern Coalition of Settlements going, but I didn't really want to spend a lot of time building up Somerville Place or Murkwater. I enjoyed building up my one main settlement, which was Warwick. That was great. I like Warwick. I've come to really enjoy it. Other lessons I learned were it's really, really difficult to find enough Daddy-O and Calmex in order to get yourself addicted. In fact, I never did find any Calmex. It says vendors will start carrying it, but I kept checking and never found them. The way I did was I used a tip. I got it was to go to Nuka World, and if you do take a bunch of bloodworms that you kill there and take their meat or something, blood, and you give it to one of the vendor guys there, a doctor-y or pharmacist kind of guy, he'll whip up some Calmex silk for you, and then that works the same way to get you addicted. So those are two drugs. I mean, yeah, you find Daddy-O, but do you get addicted? Do you take enough that you get addicted? That's the difficult part. So I did find enough Daddy-O by hunting down all the locations, including going to Far Harbor. There's a couple of spots that have some defined drops of, or they're sitting there in the world of Daddy-O. I'm definitely going to start probably incorporating Jet into my play style, though, because Jet is a hell of a drug. I had a really, really, really fun time playing Sid. It was great to have a conceptual character that I could kind of use to guide my actions, and with the spreadsheet, the perk spreadsheet, I knew what I was going to pick when. So it did leave me to just kind of play the game without having to worry about some of those, am I going to pick this or where am I going to go with that kind of thoughts. I had most of it all laid out, so it was nice and easy to go through. That was a good idea. I'm going to do that again for this next playthrough, which I'm looking forward to. We'll see what I end up getting rolled for that. Very excited. I might try and figure out someone else to be, but we'll see what happens. I really appreciate being a part of the Fallout feed, and everybody, I'll see you in the wasteland.
Kiora, Steve. Awesome. Such a good roll the whole season long. Let's all slow clap for Steve. Very impressive.
Yeah, I mean, he knocked it out of the park with that one.
Successful character. I enjoyed that very much. Thank you so much, Steve. Lots of weird stuff and strange questions, though. Like, in order to play this character, you have to abuse the time cycles and the mechanics of the game. Like, I have to do similar things in Skyrim with the ritual stone. It only functions every 48 hours or whatever. So he's sleeping every 48 hours and then doing psycho and like doing that stupid thing where you have to sleep for 2 days just to get everything to reset so you can do it again.
Yeah, I mean, he was a lot more committed to that. I I would have used the console commands to crank that up so it wouldn't go quite so slowly.
Me too. Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't do that himself.
But yeah, that's his comment about Crim's Tooth is one I forget about quite a bit, actually.
Tell us more about that.
Slowly.
So you take Crim's Tooth to the workbench, and
Right.
you can remove the sacrificial blade
Okay.
mod.
Is that a poisoning, right? We said last week, I think.
Well, it does two. It does poisoning, and it also has bleeding damage.
It seemed like the same thing though,
No,
just doubled up.
yeah. And so you find a legendary machete that has a legendary effect on it.
See. Yeah. Okay.
You put the sacrificial blade mod onto that, and now you can have one that does the bleeding damage, the poison damage, and sets them on fire.
Wow. Nice.
So
Is that a common weapon you find a lot? I don't recall. Maybe it's just because I don't pick them up often, but I don't recall machetes being around a ton. Who uses machetes? Is it mainly raiders or?
well, the legendary ones, the way to find a good legendary machetes is to have a pistol build. For me, whatever it is that I'm playing, I get the opposite legendaries.
Funny.
But yeah, it's definitely a handy one to do if you come across a good legendary effect on a machete.
That's really cool.
And the best part about it is that it when you put that blade on there, that mod on there, it makes it look like Crim's Tooth again.
Oh, that's fun.
That is fun.
Yeah. So you'd go with burning damage. That would be your legendary effect of choice to team up with the poison and the bleeding.
I mean, that would certainly be a good one, but there's a lot of good legendary effects.
What's your favorite for a melee?
That's a good question.
If you're doing your full whatever your perks are, where you sneak from a long distance and do the your whole melee build. What is the best combo there? Go with that weapon.
Well, I mean, certainly the assassin's legendary. I mean, that does 50% more damage against humans. That's handy.
Yeah.
What else?
I kind of like to cripple them because then they don't go anywhere.
Yeah, kneecapping is good. I prefer kneecapping on a shotgun, but
Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that is good.
It's not bad on a melee weapon. The Chinese officer sword that you get from Trudy at Drumlin Diner that has the troubleshooter is handy for doing the mechanist.
Is it robot damage?
Yeah, because troubleshooter does damage against robots.
Nice, but not sense. I hate that they divide those two. If you can do damage against a robot, you should be able to do damage against sense too. I think different categories.
Yeah. So there's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I need to do a melee. I hope I roll a melee character. I haven't done a really good melee character in a long time, if ever. Thank you so much, Steve, for the feedback. I have a ton of stuff that he mentioned that was really interesting stuff, like the 48-hour. The negative affinity. Holy crap, that sounds annoying as hell to do.
That is some dedication, man.
Well, and I didn't even think about it. Of course, if you travel with someone, there's more things that they'll like unless
Right.
you're like a dick. So you had to go.
Right.
You had to go slaughter all the NPCs. You know.
Yeah. I think it was very nice that he picked the ones that he already didn't like. He wasn't just, murdering innocent NPCs, which is nice. Thank
Huh.
you.
That sounded pointed.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that, right? I don't judge. Do what makes you happy. Oh, that's funny.
That was a little
But-
judgy.
That was a little judgy. I know. I should be judgy at Andrew for being judgy about my character, my number of characters.
I'm not judgy at all. I'm just surprised.
Just
I guess I shouldn't be. I guess I knew that was your first character. I don't know.
But the whole negative affinity thing is extremely, and it's interesting. Are there any companions that we know of that actually try to fight you if you get low enough?
I don't know. They just probably leave. I don't know anyone attack you. With Strong, I don't know what you'd have to do. Make Strong dislike you.
Strong.
Probably be a good person.
I can't nail down Strong. He gets mad when I get in my power armor. That's all I know.
Does he?
Yeah, he doesn't
hilarious.
like it.
That'd be funny to do a Brotherhood of Steel power armor play with Strong.
Strong. Hey,
That'd
you
be
might
great.
be able to get him.
That'd
Get
be
him
great.
down there.
Right on.
So he could have also flirted with somebody else in the game. That pisses Kate off too.
Oh, does it?
Yeah,
Oh.
that's one of the things she hates.
But she also doesn't like you flirting with her either, because she's always like, "You're staring at me arse again." You know what I mean? It's like she doesn't like you hitting on her. She doesn't like you hitting on other chicks either. The Hotel Chelsea. When did he do the drug den? I think I know what little building he's talking about, Ray. Is there drug den
it's-
over there?
Yeah, little house. It's got some raiders in it.
Is that the one with the fridge with the heads? Oh, maybe not. So what did he say when Kate left? He said she was essential and she couldn't be killed, meaning he tried to kill her as soon as she left, right?
I think that was his whole plan, was to get her down to the lowest affinity to see if she'd attack him. So,
Essential. She showed up at Somerville Place. But he was at Warwick was his homestead though. They ran into her later, I guess.
Yeah, Somerville was one of his other settlements that he had built up.
Calmex Silk, Ray? I've never done that. You can get bloodworm stuff?
Yeah, so he was lamenting on the show that that it was so hard to find comics, so he was having a hard time getting that addiction. And so I looked it up and saw that there was this quest that you could do in Nuka World. And so he checked it out, and sure enough, he was able to do that. But yeah, I mean, when you don't want to get an addiction, of course they happen, left and right. But when you're actually trying to get them, it seems like it takes forever. So
Yeah. Lord knows that. Jet is a hell of a drug, Steve. Calmex Silk. Psycho Sleep. Did he get all of them?
I don't think he ever got addicted to Daddy-O.
Oh, Daddy-O. That was it. The Lone Wolf. You can't make it. Daddy-O's not the one that gives you +2 in every category. What does Daddy-O do? I forget. I'm bad at that. I never do the chems. That's another fun thing I should do is really mess around with the chems, collecting the ingredients and stuff. Since I had such a low charisma with this character to start with. I was making great mentats for a good long while. That helped boost the charisma up like +5 or whatever. Sweet. We have an email from Marcus, I believe. Sarah,
We do.
can
Let
get
me-
into a little email there.
All right. Here is the one from Marcus. Hey guys, thanks for the kind remarks on the last show. I'm always happy to try and stump people on Fallout trivia. Maybe next time I'll come on and try to answer some. That would be so much fun. Anyway, just thought I'd give you guys a shout and say that you shouldn't waste any prizes on me and that maybe give mine away towards the Cystic Fibrosis podcast prizes when we do the next one.
Such a kind soul.
So kind.
Thank you for your questions that you sent in for episode 100. I really enjoyed doing episode 100. And Ray says that he thought it went pretty well.
Yep.
So I'll trust that that went okay. I thought I kept apologizing for it going too long and stuff like that, but Ray said it was all right.
It was fun. Marcus had some really great questions.
Yeah, Marcus did write some really good questions.
Yeah, he was killing me with all the Fallout 2 questions. Damn it.
Yeah.
We don't know any of that old stuff. He's been playing the game forever. You know, he's one of those guys who knows all the lore and everything really well.
That's super cool. And isn't he that way with Skyrim too? He's pretty knowledgeable.
Yeah, I
right?
think he's pretty knowledgeable about that sort of stuff. Yeah, and he built our character generators for both games as well. You know, he got a really nice promotion at work, so he hasn't been able to be as active in the group as he once was. But you know, he built a lot of the foundation that we use for our show. So we owe a lot to Marcus and his contributions to the show when he was designing stuff for us.
Thank you, Marcus.
Yeah, it was awesome. Fantasy football.
And
Sarah.
he and Blake have a fun show too. They've got
yeah.
some interesting episodes up there. It's a car-related show about I think they call it modology.
Yeah, modology. It's
That's
about
right.
modding your sports car instead of your video game. You know what I mean? But they have all sorts of cool posts in their Facebook group. Go check them out. You can actually see Marcus and Blake doing work on their personal vehicles. So that's always fun to check those out. And their podcast is really cool, really well produced, cool sounds, and nice information. A lot of the stuff is over my head. They say abbreviations for stuff. Sometimes I'm like, oh crap, I need to pause it and go Google what an EIC dash whatever is. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what that means. Yeah, so it's cool. Check it out, Modology, on good and where you find your podcasts.
Super cool.
Yeah, Sarah, I was going to let you shout out to the fantasy football again if we'll try to drum up a little more interest in it.
All right, y'all. We're going to be playing fantasy football as a team with our Fallout friends. Please join up. Send an email to our Fallout Feed Gmail account, and we will get you in. Last year was a great time. So, yeah. And, I'm the commissioner this year, so that means it's going to be fun, if not slightly disorganized. But chaos is fun.
I think we're at an odd number right now. So I think we need more folks. So if you're interested, go ahead and sign up. I think we can edit how many teams we have in the league. So if we keep getting people in, I don't know why we. Let's do a big league. If people keep coming in, then we'll keep seeing if we can fit you in.
Let's do it. Trash talk is very welcome.
Yeah, well, it's good natured here. We're a good group. We don't actual mean.
No. We don't take anything too seriously.
I'm sure most of the people who listening to the podcast are like, fantasy football. What the fuck?
You can
Some of us
have
like
both in your life.
Yeah, that's okay. That's bad of me to assume that people.
Yeah.
So season 6 is coming up. Like I mentioned earlier, we'll be drawing characters here in a couple of weeks. Ray, I've got my spreadsheet open. I was just wondering, do you have any general thoughts about the season coming up?
You know, there's so many good quests. I mean, we've got a nice selection of them here that people have recommended, and you know, all of them are a lot of fun. It'll be interesting to see how we end up laying it out, because that's you know, some of them can be kind of tricky, and
Yeah.
depending on when you do them will impact the way that you do them. So
Oh, you're gonna have to draw a map through this for me then.
Yeah.
Really help me out. Some of these are not actual quests, but just cool locations, which is awesome because that's one of the things I was asking for is just, you know, the little cool highlights that make it Fallout and the Fallout universe, you know. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a quest, but just if there's cool things that we need to see, like Steve just tossed in a couple of extra cool little sites. So we're gonna do best quests and best sites in the Fallout 4. Yeah, so we've got 33 quests suggested here, and we've got about 10 or 11 weeks, or actually, you know, 20 or so weeks until 76 drops. So we'll do like an episode and then a feedback episode. So that'll leave us to about, you know, 2 or 3 episodes per, or, you know, quests per episode, which will be good. Except for Ray, a lot of the good quests contain bobbleheads.
yeah, I'm kind of thinking we got to leave those off.
Yeah.
We can't. You don't want to do same stuff that we just did last season. How many? There were like probably 5 at least in that list that
Yeah.
we've done bobbleheads from. You know what I mean? Because those are some of the quintessential quests in the Fallout game. So of course they put one of the quintessential artifacts, the bobblehead, in some of those. So we're gonna not do some of those that, like, you know, what was it, the mystery meat one? You know what I mean?
Right.
Or Cabot House. Cabot House had one. The Vault 81 stuff. You know, there's a bobblehead in there. But I want to go get Curie and stuff.
Well, and that's the other thing. There we have quite a few companion quests in here too.
Yeah. Nick,
So
companion quest.
If you're going to do the Curie companion quest, you know, getting her a body, then you're going to have to do the Vault 81 one anyway.
Yeah. So, but we just did that. You know what I mean? So does that mean that we should take that one off? Yeah. This is all the sort of stuff we get into when planning a season of the Round Table, guys. It's up in the air a lot for a while, and then for some reason everything seems to fall in place.
Yeah, we work hard for you.
Yeah.
It's a shit show behind the scenes sometimes. But Leon suggested a couple of great ones: the Hubologist over in Nuka World and the Red Death and Far Harbor. Those are 2 great ones. I'm excited to do those again. I think I've only done each of those once. That'll be great. Both Pat and Sherry suggested the Salem Witch Museum with the Death Claw, and the Len Woods continuation with the Mr. Handy bartender and all that. That's like 2 or 3 different ones, all sort of wrapped up into one quest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. We got some good quests here, and Ray will help me clean them out here, and yeah, we'll get rid of these bobbleheads. I guess that stinks because those are such good quests.
They are, but we just did them.
Just did them though. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
All right, we'll draw characters here real soon. What else you guys got?
Not much over here. So PlayStation is extremely frustrating.
Uh-oh, what happened?
So I've spent this entire time still trying to get into Far Harbor. And I spent
What?
okay. So I spent like 20 minutes trying to get this dang Nick quest thing to happen. And then I realized, well, I didn't I decided to go in and make sure that everything was downloaded properly, and it turns out that my husband downloaded the DLC on his profile. Ugh. So thankfully, I can borrow from his profile as long as the PlayStation is like we mark it as our like home PlayStation or whatever. So I had to go in and do that, and then I got all distracted finding a new outpost. So I'm not in Far Harbor yet. I'll let you guys know when it happens.
Oh, that stinks. But at least you can share across profiles. That'd be annoying if you couldn't load.
Oh, I know. I got really scared for a minute. I was texting him because he's not home from work yet. Like, what did you do? He's like, don't trip. It'll be fine.
That's hilarious.
But and so as soon as I got them on my profile, as soon as I logged back into my game, all of the quests for all the DLCs popped up. So they just popped right in. There's nothing special you have to do. I'm just extra dumb. So
What level is that character, did you say?
49?
Oh, nice. That's pretty high. The let's see. Automatron kicks off at like 15 or something. Far Harbor's maybe 10. I don't remember exactly. No, you after Ray just told us it's after the Kelvin portion.
Yeah, so that's not too far in.
Or you can just go straight there. I've done that before. I snuck across the top border without meeting anything and snuck all the way to Far Harbor. And I was level 2 or something when I got there and immediately got shredded.
Immediately died.
Yeah, Far Harbor's pretty tough.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Which
so-
one? Which one is the Vault Tech calling? Tune radio to Vault 88 radio beacon.
haha, that's a great. Vault 88 was one of the DLC downloads.
Oh, awesome.
Was that part of the Vault Tech Workshop DLC or something? That was
Yeah.
right. Was that a separate thing by itself, or what did that come with?
No, I think that came with the Wasteland Workshop. I think
Wasteland Workshop, yeah.
So you
It's
you
fun.
get to build a vault.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
How am I going to fit all of this in with my Fallout Shelter playing?
Well, God, we should throw Vault 88 in there. I mean, it's like a ton of quests, but Vault 88 would be its own mini season. That would be good. You could get into Vault 88 in 2 or 3 episodes. You can't really do it all in one episode.
Yeah.
No.
Fun
I
stuff, you guys.
Vault 88 a lot. Go play with that a little bit. If you remember me saying, there's an implement that'll give you a boost in some of the different special categories, like the weight bench will give you a strength boost, or the pommel horse will give you an agility.
Oh, yes.
That Vault 88 introduces a few of those.
Okay. That's another thing that I've just been nodding along yeah, I totally know what a pommel horse is.
Yeah, but you'll be able to put those in settlements and get temporary boosts in different special categories
Oh, perfect.
after you activate that DLC, I believe.
Cool. I am super excited to get into all this stuff. Thank you guys for helping this noob out every week.
So
We're
so
just
right
gonna
now,
have,
just stay focused on Far Harbor.
I got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Anybody who's interested in Minecraft, we have a really nice Minecraft realm going on. We're all running the Fallout skins. The Fallout. There's lots of neat Fallout landmarks, and we're playing Minecraft as a group. Sherry had the idea to get sort of a teamwork and camaraderie community going before we try to form our own clans in Fallout 76 when that releases. So I thought that was a cute idea. And I played Minecraft a little bit about a year ago after I purchased it. And, it didn't really catch me at that point. But I decided since everyone else was playing, I'd hop back in. And just playing with other people makes something so much more fun if you're playing with a group of people you like. It's just really fun to play. So if anyone out there is interested in Minecraft and want to load up the Fallout skins, you can join us in our realm. We've got a link over on the top of the Facebook group. So I encourage anyone to play that. Sarah, you ever played that? Your kids play? it's
Actually, no. I hear it's very cool with the kids.
Yeah, it's with the children and the 40-year-old me.
There's quite a few people in our group that are playing it that are definitely not children. So
we, at any given moment, there's like 5 or 10 of us running around in the world. It's
that
really
is
fun.
crazy.
There's a
That
lot of us.
sounds really fun.
So I'm hoping we get that sort of interaction with Fallout 70. Could you imagine? Because there's they said they allow 24 to 36 people on a server at any given point. Could you imagine if you're allowed to team up like that, and we could like push out pretty much everyone else, and we just took over the whole server ourselves? Like that would be cool.
I wonder, I mean, we can't be the only people on the planet wondering that thing.
It's got to be teams of 4, right? According to the
yeah.
Not the DLC. According to the trailer, every shot that they showed you looked like it was teams of 4 to me.
4. Yeah.
Yeah. But that'll be super fun. So that was a good idea, Sherry. Join us up in the Minecraft. Ray, I assume since you hate building, you're not gonna Minecraft.
The first thing that I have to do is get some texture mods going, because that that blocky, fraggy looking stuff people say, oh, look, it's a parrot. Like, are you kidding me?
What is that?
That's 3 white dots and 2 black dots. That's not a parrot.
Shut up, it's a parrot. Use your imagination. That's hilarious. Yeah, no, it's a good time. I encourage everyone to join up in fantasy football. We've got all sorts of community stuff going on. The round table's kicking off here again soon. It's all about everybody out there. Thanks everybody for being cool, and we like doing the show. So Ray, you got anything else for tonight?
Yeah, I think I'm good to go.
Right on. Sarah?
Yeah, nothing.
Sweet. Always a good time podcasting with you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody for listening to the show, and we'll see you in the wasteland.
Thank you for downloading this episode of the Fallout Feed Roundtable. If you are interested in doing a play-along character with us, the show can be contacted by emailing falloutroundtable@gmail.com. For the roundtable schedule, our Amazon link information, please head on over to asapodcasting.com, where you will find the Fallout Feed, the Askyrimaddictpodcast, our YouTube channel, the Chatterbox, as well as other content. Once again, thank you for downloading, and we'll see you in the wasteland.